Hi all, Hipper here. So in case you're in doubt, this year is 2023 and I can tell you that we're going to have a wonderful year of games this year. There are so many games coming out, so don't forget to subscribe, like and comment, of course, because I'm gonna go through the titles that I personally am looking forward to the most this year. And I am kind of thinking that we're going to share a few opinions on that. So stick with me and I'm going to go through the most promising games of 2023. You know, the games that everyone has to buy and the games that are going to be new classics. And they are all coming out this year. So stick around and let's get started. So it's certainly not because 2023 has been quiet up until so far. I mean, we've already got some very good games already. Like, for example, the remake of Dead Space, one of my favorite games of all time. And Hogwarts Legacy also came out, also an excellent game. If you haven't got it, then run out there and buy it. And of course, we got the PlayStation VR 2 as well. Not a game, but a piece of hardware that came with a lot of games and, you know, whole new experiences. So definitely a good start to 2023, but let's see what we have in store for the rest of the year. Alright, let's start with a game that I haven't heard that much hype about, but it is a game that have recently caught my interest, and that's because it looks fantastic. I mean, it's a top-down, squad-based, real-time shooter, and as you can see here in the background, the graphics look excellent, and if there's something I like, it's top-down games like this. And this one looks you know, slow-paced enough to actually be fun for people who don't enjoy really fast-paced shooters. And a little bit of, you know, strategy involved here, actually quite a bit of strategy it looks like. And I'm hoping great multiplayer as well, and hopefully local multiplayer as well. That would be excellent. This is definitely a game I'm keeping on my radar because it looks excellent, and it's coming out in June this year, and that's not far away. It's going to be a little bit tough on that game because there's some other big games coming out in June, and we'll get to those later. But so far, this definitely looks like a strong contender for one of the best games of 2023. Alright, so the next game on my list, I'm sure, is no surprise to anyone, because of course, it's nothing less than Starfield. Like a game that most gamers have been waiting for a decade, and including myself. I was an avid Skyrim player back in the day, and certainly this game here, which promises to be Skyrim in space, is going to be a great time waste for me, I'm pretty sure. Now, if there's one nickel about this game here I want to mention, is the fact that it doesn't have multiplayer. That's a bit of a downside because there's lots of Bethesda games in the last few years who've had multiplayer, particularly very good co-op. But it looks like Starfield isn't going to have it, and that is going to be a little bit of a downer. And of course, the fact that if you have a PlayStation 5, you won't be able to play this game. It only comes out on Xbox because Microsoft has purchased Bethesda. So that's also a bit of a downer for PlayStation people. But if you have an Xbox, well, you'll be laughing. So it should come out in the last quarter of this year, August, if I'm not mistaken. So we still have a bit of wait left, but this is definitely one of those games to really keep an eye out for. And if you haven't heard about this game, Google it and you know, pre-order it, because it's going to be amazing no matter how it turns out. Right. So the next game on my list is a game I have very, very high expectations towards, because this is the unofficial follow-up to the Divinity games, in particular Divinity Original Sin 2. And it's made by the same developer, Larian Studios. And if you don't know Divinity, then I'll tell you they are the best role-playing games out there. Simple, that's the way it is. And Larian has been so lucky to get their hands on the Baldurs Gate license, so they're actually doing Baldurs Gate 3. And this game looks fantastic. It looks enormous, and if Divinity 2 is anything to go by, this game is going to take months to complete. And I can't wait, really. This is one of the most interesting and exciting games that have ever come out, in my opinion. And it's coming this year. So very, very interesting here. And one very nice thing about the Baldurs Gate or the Divinity games here, and the Baldurs Gate 3 in particular, is that you'll be able to play local co-op. 2 players, 2 controllers on the couch, and off you go. And this worked fantastically in the Divinity games, and I'm sure in Baldur's Gate 3, Larian is going to polish it even more and make this the best single-player role-playing game out there, but also the best multiplayer role-playing game out there. So we're very excited. I realized that Skull and Bones has been off to a rocky start. Like, it was supposed to come out last year. It has actually been supposed to come out for the last decade almost, but it keeps getting delayed, and then now it looks like it'll come out in the last quarter of 2023. Now, I haven't given up on this game. I think it still looks amazing, and I'm ready for some pirate, combat on the high seas. And it's definitely something to, get my attention away from World of Warships Legends, for example. Will the game come out this year? I hope so. We don't have a firm release date yet, but on the other hand, we've already had 2 of those, and they turned out to, not be that firm anyway. So let's see what happens here. But I'm having it on my list because it's something new, it's something interesting, and it's something that a lot of gamers have been waiting for a long time. And Ubisoft, 3rd time is a charm, so please have it out by Christmas this year. And it does look like we're going to have it. So very excited about this game, and pirate combat, and like merchants and stuff like that. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. So let's see how it turns out, and hopefully we'll actually get it this year. So Jedi Survivor is another game I have very high expectation toward, because the first game in the series, Fallen Order, I didn't really play until 1 or 2 years later, and I think it wasn't until it was on PS Plus for free that I actually downloaded it, and I was so surprised, because this was a game that I really liked. It was a kind of a mix of Tomb Raider and Star Wars Battlefront, and I really enjoyed it. It was about fighting, of course, and combat, but it's also about exploration and overcoming the environments as your enemy or your adversary. It was great, and I'm really looking forward to the follow-up, and it should come out here in actually about a month. So it's one of the first games on this list to actually be available to play. I think it's the 28th of April this will be out. So well, that's something to look forward to. And if it's just half as good as the first game, it's going to be an absolute killer game. So don't wait. I suggest you pre-order this one as well. So a game that not many people are actually aware of is a follow-up to an old Xbox game called Alan Wake, and it's obviously Alan Wake 2, and this game is coming out sometime this year as well, and it's looking fantastic as well. I'm very excited about this game. We don't know a lot about it at the time, but I think if it's just as good as the first one, it's going to be a real hit. So keep an eye out for this one. It should be out this year. Alright, and as you might have guessed from the intro, the next game on my list is actually an expansion, but it's still quite a release, and it's for Horizon Forbidden West, and it's called Horizon Burning Shores. And I mean, this is going to be great because the Horizon games are always great, and we're back to playing Aloy, and it's just exciting, and I really like expansions to the Horizon games because they're very good. They're very high quality, and they're almost like new games. And it's been a while since we had some new content for Forbidden Wilds, so this is definitely something that I'm looking forward to a lot. And it won't be long before we have it, a few months I think. So yeah, stay tuned. So last but certainly not least on this list, we have the obvious game, and it's Diablo 4. And there's also not a long time until this game comes out. It comes out in June. And if you have purchased the pre-order, you will be able to access it from June 2nd. Everybody else has to wait until June 6th. So if you can't wait, pre-order that game. I mean, you're going to pay for it anyway. This is a classic. It's Diablo. Like, it's a game that pretty much everyone enjoys playing. And it's great fun single player, I can tell you, because I played the beta a lot this weekend. And co-op is also excellent, and especially local co-op is fabulous. Like, this time it's actually working, And I think that's going to be a real sale point for Diablo 4, because Diablo 3 kind of failed in this area here. So it's catering for, you know, single players and also multiplayers, even if they play locally at home or over the internet in clans. So obviously this needs no introduction. It's Diablo 4. It's going to be great. It's going to be massive. It's going to be you know, supported for years and years going forward by Blizzard. So this is going to be a massive game, and it's coming out in June. And any other game coming out in June, I'm looking at you, Aliens. It's going to probably have a bit of a hard time, but I think Aliens will be able to stand on its own. So that's the last game for this video here, and as you can see, we are in for a treat of a year, and the games are also nicely dispersed through the year. There's one roughly every 2 months. So it's not like they all come out, you know, in the month before Christmas or something like that, which is nice. So you can play them, you know, scattered through the year, and you don't have to focus on all games at the same time. So that was my top games for 2023. So let me know what you think in the comments, if you agree or disagree, or think I left something out. I know I left out Zelda, but personally, it's not a game I look forward to that much. I know a lot of people are, but I'm not. So that's the reason that's not in there. So hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you out there, and don't forget to subscribe right